What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Bryce with the Real Squad, here to talk some Mandalorian Season 3 finale, season in the whole. As you guys know, I usually don't review the entirety of the series. I do the first episode and the last episode. And I didn't review this immediately after because I had mixed feelings. This is like a difficult video to make, but this is a rant. This is definitely a rant. I had huge issues with season 3. The return of Moff Gideon, the lackluster beginning, episodes that don't amount up to anything. The best way I can describe this, or I want to talk about this, is first up. Come on, man. I know you're hot. I'm mad too. Well, the best way I could put it is talking about how season 1 came in really dark, just heavy, each episode leading to something, and then at the end of season 1, or towards the end of season 1, we get the big Grogu Baby Yoda reveal, which was like mind-blowing. Nobody saw it coming. We're watching a a Star Wars Western with the Mandalorian Din Djarin, and I loved everything about it. He came in like really hardcore, man. He was getting them bounties in. It was dark. It was much darker. Then you come, like I said, you ended with Baby Yoda, Grogu, which had everybody shook, never seen it coming. And then we come into season 2, and also we are introduced to Moff Gideon at the end of season 1, but knowing that he's the big bad going into season 2, and it amps up the ante with bringing in Luke Skywalker, which literally almost broke the internet. I was tripping out. So, and it left off with Din Djarin giving Grogu, or letting Grogu go with Luke to train. It was almost like, should I say it, a dream come true? Like, what? This is crazy. They brought back Luke. He was just going crazy. He had his own little hallway scene, destroying the Dark Troopers, or the Sith Troopers, whatever you want to call them. And at that point, I believe the Mandalorian hype was at an all-time high. Like, everybody was loving it. You had some people that could see through the cracks, just like they did with The Force Awakens or whatever. But I myself was thoroughly enjoying both seasons. You had the episode with my man Bill Burr, which to me was probably one of the strongest episodes as far as character development and letting you know how serious this Star Wars thing can get. That was crazy. And we took 2 years off. And with me, I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, they're gonna come in so crazy with this third season. So I'm even more excited to see what happens. And I think you can kind of tell with my first review of episode 1, I was all in, not knowing what lied ahead of me. And then after that second episode, I'm like, why is this starting to seem like the flavor of Boba Fett? Like, I was getting big Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett vibes. And I'm like, it's much more colorful. The stakes are lowered. Moff Gideon returns after being, caught and defeated in in season 2. Terrified of Luke Skywalker, by the way. I love that. But yeah, like, I'm thinking maybe a cameo from Thrawn. We do get a mention of him, but that's like literally the last 2 episodes. And the last 2 episodes are really what the entirety of the season should have been. Like the Jack Black and Lizzo episode, and Christopher Lloyd. Love Jack Black, love Christopher Lloyd. Lizzo's cool, but it's too much star power. And all in one episode, it took me out. I was taken out. Like, I'm not trying to hate on them, but it was terrible as far as Star Wars lore goes. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. And then you have Bo-Katan coming in, which I love Bo, you know what I'm saying? But this is the Mandalorian. I'm thinking Din Djarin is the Mandalorian, but apparently it can be looked at as all Mandalorians now. And I just, it just took me out of it a little bit. It was definitely the Bo-Katan show. And you had so many, like, I don't want to even say plot holes, but is this person a spy? Everybody's thinking the armor is a spy. A couple of Bo-Katan's old followers were some spies, but that never came to fruition. Like, all the theories surrounding the show were better than what the show. Come on, man. It was better than what the show had to offer. So it was like we're hyping it up to something that it wasn't ever gonna be. And like I said, the tonal change was so obviously felt. And there's been rumors going around that Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy had a falling out. Pedro Pascal not wanting to come in anymore and just do the voiceover or whatever. So you have all that floating around, and then this season drops, and now all that is starting to seem likely. Like, that's starting to seem very, very true. So I'm curious, like, maybe in the future we'll get a book or a documentary about what happened from season 1 to season 3. And shoot, I know they're supposed to be making more, but the way they capped off season 3, it doesn't seem like we'll be getting Mando back anytime soon. It was almost like him and Grogu had like a happy ending. And speaking of Grogu, he trained with Luke and was doing the exact same thing he's been doing throughout each season. But it seemed like in season 1 and season 2, was he more powerful? I believe he had a scene choking out Cara Dune. Like, what? Like, he was doing a force choke. He was doing a bunch of stuff, and he goes and trains with Luke for 2 years, I guess. That's what they say. It didn't seem like it. And he gets brought back in the Boba Fett show, which if you didn't watch, you wouldn't have known that. You'd just been like, okay, Grogu's back somehow. But you have to literally watch all these shows. I even got into it with a friend of mine. Like, I consistently watch these shows when they drop out. Like, I don't wait a while, wait a week, wait till the season is done. No, I'm watching these back to back to back as soon as they drop. So I can obviously tell the tonal change. Like, it was crazy. I was getting like the Book of Boba Fett episode with the Power Ranger crew. Like, this is too easy. And I've been hearing everybody, I watched a few reviews. Everybody was like, it's like playing a video game on easy mode, like the easiest mode. You know, everybody's gonna be safe. So, and then you have the plot with Moff Gideon cloning himself to be force sensitive, but it's just words at that point. Like, okay, let's see it. Nope, Din Djarin blew them all up. So I'm like, what was the point? What was the point? That was so stupid. Maybe Moff Gideon survived. I've been hearing like, oh, maybe that was one of the clones. At this point, I don't care. I'm tired of him. He's too old. Like, in the beginning, he had that threatening demeanor. He was scary, but they played it up for, I don't want to say for laughs, but they stretched it out so long. He is not scary anymore. Like, what else could you do other than be force sensitive? And you're old, and you got, I don't know. And then he destroyed the Darksaber. Like, what? That was like one of the second coolest thing, or let me say the third, because Din Djarin is dope. Grogu is dope. But then you destroy the Darksaber? Like, what? Please tell me y'all gonna fix this thing. Like, I don't know. Then you have the lingering mythosaur creature. Like, is Bo-Katan gonna ride it? Is Grogu gonna get it? Is Din Djarin gonna get it? And then what really got me was Din Djarin completely like, yeah, so I don't care about any of this. I follow like through honor, and I'm gonna follow you to the end, talking to Bo. But at the end of the series, he's going to talk to the New Republic about working for them and doing bounties for them, trying to fight off the old remnants of the Empire. Like, just left her. So I was like, the writing was just terrible for me, man. I mean, some episodes were cool and decent. Even with the Lizzo episode, like them doing that, you know, detective trying to find out who's messing up with the droids and stuff like that. That was somewhat fun, but at the end of the day, it didn't go anywhere. So it was just, I guess it felt like filler. This whole season was filler. You can literally skip the entire season or just watch the last 2 episodes and you'll be good. Nothing missed, nothing changes, no extra character development. Just a bunch of boring shit. I was bored. This is leads lower than season 1 and season 2. But like I don't want to keep you guys long with this. Like I said, it took me a while just to even get this out because I wasn't enthused to do it. I'm not even hella mad. It's more so like I'm just disappointed, and I really didn't want to talk about it. And the fact that nobody's looking for Mandalorian news or Mandalorian reviews right now because the viewership went down crazy. Like apparently Kenobi did better than season 3 of Mandalorian. Wow. But thank you guys for sticking with me, man. It's been real, like reviewing this stuff. I always have a good time talking to the fans when you guys comment below. But if you're new here and you're returning, please hit that sub and that like button and that notification bell so you can stay up to date on what I'm dropping and what's coming. I have a Real Squad collectibles videos out right now about the Batwing, the 89. I lost my thought for a second, but the 89 Batwing from the Target exclusive. So make sure you guys go check that out. And yeah, man, hopefully Star Wars steps it up. But as of now, it's starting to slide back downhill. They're at the top of the game with the Mandalorian. Now the Mandalorian is starting to slip through their fingers. So hopefully they'll figure something out with the new stuff, and maybe Ahsoka could be much better. But yeah, man, it's been real. Thanks for keeping it real, and thanks for being real. And I will see you guys real soon. And I